Hi, my loves. So excited today. I wanted to tell you guys about my experience with Compass Airline and how it went. And all I could say is it was an amazing experience, and I wish it on all of you, for you guys to experience the same experience that I have. So let me start by explaining to you guys how it went. I'm gonna go right into it and not do the whole like, hey, this is my intro and whatnot. So I only have 10 minutes. My phone keeps on getting so full, and oh my gosh, do I have to kind of speed it up. So I went online and then I saw they were hiring, Compass Airline, hiring in-flight crew. So I applied and submitted my application. I think I filled out some information online too. They didn't call me, sorry. They emailed me and they said, please fill this out. Here's a link. Let us know which classes you want to attend. So I was happy that they responded, so that was a good sign. I know that a lot of people can they can't just show up, although the dates will be posted so you'll know where they're going to be. But I know that you can't just show up. You need to apply online, and you need to make sure that you follow their directions as far as the application process online and submit that. And then I think you have to notify them. They'll give you like a time frame, and you need to let them know if you will be there or not, and what's your name and whatnot. So they're gonna have all that on a sheet when you come in for attendance. So I decided to take the Las Vegas one, which is probably about a 45-minute flight, and I got a really cheap ticket for about $90. So I grabbed that, flew to Las Vegas, arrived at 7 o'clock, and my interview started at 8:30, but I got there super early. I sat in the lobby. People thought I was a flight attendant because I was dressed the part, so that was a plus. So, it started the day pretty good. People were handshaking with me, and they were like, hey, nice to meet you, and I'm so excited that I get to do this. How long have you been a flight attendant for? I said, I'm like, no, I'm not. So I guess I looked the part, which was very flattering to say the least. So it started my day really well. And they are watching you. I am not kidding. I could see the real flight attendant and the recruiters just walking around and to see if you're mingling, and which I was. I wasn't sitting. I put my phone off. I didn't even put it on vibrate. I put it off. I know people were texting and whatnot. I try not to do that. So basically, remember that. They are watching the minute you walk in. It actually took place in a hotel. And I didn't take a hotel. I just kind of flew in and got the latest flight out. And they fly every hour anyways because it's so close to Phoenix. Las Vegas is really close to Arizona. So I figure if it doesn't work out, I'll just grab the next one, if I don't make it on time. So I had the whole day, and we started early, bright and early. We made a line when they called us, and they said, please make sure you have your resume with you. And they didn't ask for passport. They only ask for your passport if you get chosen. And you do get your CGL right there and then. So I remember being really excited about this one. I was very confident coming into it. And I think that confidence carried through. Anyways, I was a little tired because I remember my flight, I had to get up at 3 a.m. and leave, get at the airport at 4. My flight was at 5. It was just one of those really early morning. I didn't sleep much the night before, but I had everything ready. My clothes was on a hanger. I had a little portfolio with all of my documentation, my resume. So everything was ready. All I had to do was get up, take a shower, tie up my hair in a bun, put my jacket on that was hanging, and go. A lot of people bring their jacket on a hanger. So I got there, and I had my portfolio ready. She signed me in, asked me for my name, crossed out my name, asked me to go inside the room, the conference room, and have a seat. So I sat in the front. Always sit in the front. It just shows that you want to participate, that you're interested. If you sit in the back, it just kind of, I don't know. It doesn't look right. I remember we weren't that many. I think we were a total of 40. That was not a lot. They were usually used to a lot more people, and for some reason that morning there was not a lot, which is good. More chances for us to get the CJO. Sat there, they made a presentation, and there was a big screen. They went through, different, everything. They talk about pay like usual. They talk about pay, they talk about the airlines, they talk about where training is at. They talk about anything that you were you have questions about, you can ask, you can, raise your hand. They were very friendly. They introduced themselves. There were about probably 8 people there total. Some recruiters and some people that I guess for fingerprinting. Just everybody had their role there. So they were just standing against the wall and introducing themselves and such. Most of them were flight attendants. Others were just recruiters full-time, and they did kind of part-time still. They were flight attendant as well. So that's definitely something that opened my eye as to, you don't just have to be a flight attendant. You could do other things with, once you're a flight attendant, you're in the company, you could do so many other things, which is kind of like exciting. You don't have to just be a flight attendant. You can grow with the company and do other things. And I think that's with any airline, which is fun to do. Anyway, so I sat down, met the person on my right, met the person on my left, and started talking. And the guy next to me, I remember, had a really long beard, and he was on his phone. So while they were talking, he was texting. So the lady kept on saying, "Excuse me, you need to put your phone away, please." And he was like, "Okay," and he wouldn't. So I think that really worked against him. So don't do that. Don't bring your phone. Forget about it. Just shut it off. If you want to put it on silent because you have kids and you still want to hear it vibrate, that's fine. But don't let them see it because it's going to work against you. Anyhow, so when the presentation was over, we had a 10-minute break. We went back inside, and then we had to randomly answer a question. So we had a sticker with our name on it, which they gave you. I forgot to tell you, they give it to you when you first come in, and they ask for a copy of your resume. They do give you a sticker, and there's 2 numbers. One of the numbers is actually the question that's going to be on the board, but you don't see that until it's time for you to say it. And the other question, I believe, is what was the other question? I'm forgetting. The other number. So one number was for the question, and the other number was just your number. You identify as a number, I guess. So I remember them calling everybody in the room except me. I'm like, what? Oh. So they're like, have I called everybody? And here I am. I was nervous, and you wait for everybody to go through, and nobody's calling you. So I'm like, great. And I remember giving her all my stuff, and she gave me a sticker. So it's not like, so I'm like, me, and she's like, what's your name? So I told her, Shelly, and then she looked it up, and she's like, I'm so sorry. You're on the end of my pages, and I didn't see you. And I'm like, great. And then I broke the ice, and I said, oh, you kept the best for last. And they all started laughing. So that broke the ice, and I went up there, and then I looked up on the wall, and I could see my number, my little number that corresponded to one of the questions, which I had to spontaneously answer. So I remember looking at everybody. They were all in front of me, and then I was looking on my right, and they're all sitting there, all the recruiters, and I was just kind of addressing everybody, and I was talking and answering my question and trying to relate that question to the job. If you're obviously doing a flight attendant job, then you're answering and you're integrating your answers with the flight attendant job, okay? So if they ask you something like, what's your favorite color? You don't just say, green, thank you, and go sit down. You say green, you say why, and you try to integrate your answer with the flight attendant position. I know it sounds weird, but you just gotta make it work. It's not so much what you say, but how you project yourself and how confident and how you speak. If you can do that, you're good to go. Anyways, I said what I had to say. Then I sat down, and I was very confident with my speech. And they said, you may step out, and when you come back, we will circle your badge number. And if you are circled, you need to come back in the room. And if your number is not circled, you need to go home. So we went for a quick lunch. I think it was not even 30 minutes, and it went by like that. I went to the bathroom. I went to get a tea or coffee. I had a little snack because I don't want to eat too much. Remember what I tell you about eating? Don't eat too much, because then your stomach is busy digesting, and it's not. You can't think straight. So I have a bar. Again, me and my bars always bring bars on those things. Always. It's just easy to eat, and nobody can see it, and you're not you're not having spaghetti and meatballs, you know what I mean? And so I grabbed my little snack. I made some friends. We were talking as a group. I went back, and before I could even see my number circle, the lady that I was hanging out with, I guess, had perfect vision because I need my glasses and I had to get close. You got it, Shelly, you got it. And I'm like, oh my God, I wanted to see it for myself. Why are you blurring it out? Anyways, I got closer, and sure enough, I think I was number 15, and I still kept my little tag because it's just kind of, I don't know, a memory of the day, I guess. And then I see my number, and I think they had picked something 20 out of 30 or 15 out of 30, I believe. Anyway, it was a little bit, about a half were picked, or less than half. Yeah, we're 15 out of 40, yeah, less than half. So I was excited, and the lady, obviously, that was with me, really nice, sweet lady, Chris, her name was Chrissy. She was so super sweet. So we were like getting even more nervous because we knew we were gonna have the face-to-face now. So people were leaving, people were disappointed. I remember they, you know, sad faces. It was so sad for them, and they did good in front of the audience. I mean, when they spoke, and I think it's barely. I know one lady had a tattoo, and they were very strict about tattoo. Whew, and they tell you, if you have a tattoo and you want to hide them, we will find them, because we will strip you when it's time, while you're training, we will strip you because we need to measure you. And we will see what's on your body. And we will see if you have makeup on them. We will figure it out and we will find it. And you have just wasted 2 to 3 weeks of your training camouflaging it, but we will see it. So don't waste our time, and don't waste your time. So guys, if you have tattoos, please get them removed before you apply. They will find out. And they do, if you do get the face-to-face, they will look at you. They had me remove my jacket. They had me lift my sleeve. They had me look, they were looking through my nylons. They had me take off my shoes. I was wearing boots at the time, by the way. And you can't wear boots, because I did ask them, and they said during the winter time, there's a certain months that you can wear boots as a flight attendant, as long as it's all black, like a leather type thing, not too shiny, and with no strap. So I wore my boots. And then I had my little shoes to change into at the end of the day. Anyway, so, okay, so we went back in there, and because I was the last one to call, I was the first one to get a one-on-one. Okay, so I guess they felt bad. They're like, oh, that poor lady waited. We'll ask her, you know, to come in. So the recruiters walked in, grabbed one of us, took us to another room. Then they would walk in again, take one of us, you know, and take us to another room. So in that room, there was different desks. I was on the right desk. There was people on the left desk, and there was like a couple of desks, so maybe 6 desks total. So I was in the back right desk with this really, really nice lady, which I was kind of eyeballing the whole time because she was one of the sweetest one. I remember blonde with a cute little dress, and I was like, I want her, she's so sweet, and I got her. Anyway, so she asked me to come and follow her. So we sat down, and she did not waste a second. When I say she did not waste a second, she did not waste 1 second. She went right into it, and the question never ended. It's like, what would you do? And what would you do? And la la la. And like, it's one question after the other. So, but it started really weird. It started like, okay, I need you to take off your jacket, please. And that was the inspection, which I wasn't expecting. And then they sat down, and then they started asking questions like, can I see your resume? Do you have that? Do you have your passport? Do you have this, that, that? So I kind of gave it to her, and then right away she asked me a question. And I was just like caught off guard. It's not like, okay, are you ready? Or, you know, they don't tell you. They just kind of start into it. So I answered the best of my capabilities, how you say it? The best of my knowledge. And then it just felt like forever, because I was looking at other people and they were answering, and I was trying not to get distracted, but you can hear them talk with the instructors and, I mean, the recruiters. So within, I would say about 15, 20 minutes, I was done. And she's like, now I need you to step out, and you'll go with this gentleman, and I'm gonna go back inside, and I'll let you know. And I'm like, ooh, okay. So I stepped out, and I stayed with this other recruiter, who I believe was a flight attendant, and he was like not talking to me. And we're just standing in the corridor, and he's looking up, and I'm looking up, and he's looking down, and I'm looking down. So I struck the conversation. How are you? How's your day? Has it been a long day? It was already like about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon at that point. So it was kind of late. Remember, I started the interview at 8:30, and I got there super early. So it was a long day. I wasn't hungry, even though I had had a quick bite. It's a long day, but you're so nervous, your stomach is upside down in knots. So you're not even thinking about eating. But I did feel dizzy, and, you know, obviously the emotion and all that, because you're like, it's a roller coaster. Am I going to get it? Am I not going to get it? So anyways, I remember being with him, and he was very serious, and he's waiting. And then she comes out, and my heart is pumping out of my chest, and she comes up to me, and then she gives me the verdict. So if it was a no, then I take my belongings and leave. And if it's a yes, then they put you in another room, and I believe they do fingerprinting, and they ask for your passport, and you do your urine tests. And I know from what I heard, that the people that did the urine test, they give you right there and then a sheet that you basically take a taxi to, which is about 5 minutes from your location where you're interviewing, and you can do your urine test right away. They want everything done, or if not, then you take that sheet, that prescription, which they will email you. Then they confirm with you that you received it, and when you fly home, you take that email, you print it out, and then you go to your local clinic or whatever, and then they'll do like your urine test there. That's if you have a flight and you gotta go, but if you don't have anywhere to go for another couple of hours, then they want you to do everything right there and then. So, did I get it? I am not at liberty to say whether I did or not, sorry. Again, like I explained in one of my videos, I try not to say too much because it could backfire, whether you got it or not. They specifically tell you when you go to these interviews, please do not share information. Very important, or else we will take away your opportunity to be a flight attendant with us. So even these videos, I'm putting myself out there. Sometimes it's best that you don't, but I want to share my experience.